The only talk radio show that takes you along with host and age explorer Rod Gontos on his continuing journey of discovery into life's challenges, opportunities, options, and all the latest and greatest things that come with getting older. The Raad Life is brought to you this week by Your Home for a Lifetime, a company dedicated to empowering you to stay safely, independently, and comfortably in your own home. And now here is your host, Rad Gontos.
Hello, Paul.
Yes, sir. We're experimenting again. I'm deep in the bunker of the basement of OC Talk Radio.
You know, I found out that I don't know if you saw this article about this little village in like near Seattle, Washington State. Do you see this thing about like the only village that probably has like zero coronavirus people? No. Yes, and my favorite part of it was that, you know, it presented the titles, you know, speaking of having to read beyond the headlines these days, right?
Right.
We'll get back to that one relevant to local piece of news. But, you know, it said, it caught my attention because it said, you know, this little village, you know, might be the safest place in America. And then and it's because they have zero, they have 1,300 population. They have zero cases of coronavirus, right?
Wow.
You continue to read down, the second statement in there says something about having it, it's near the Canadian border. So it actually makes it popular for witness protection. I'm like, you know, it sounds like I should put that on my destination. You know, like that as soon as we can get out of this sequester, I think I need to go. I mean, seriously, did they just out everybody that's in witness protection that happens to live in that town? You know, are they all getting relocated right now this afternoon?
These are crazy times we're going through.
Like, why would you even include that it is a haven for witness protection?
So now everybody's going to go check it out first. Hey, where's Guido? Hey,
where's Guido? I bet you he's in that village in Washington State by the Canadian border. Anyway, so but no, it's you really gotta you know, like, pay attention to the details these days. Things are moving so fast, right? And so, you know, do something today that your future self will thank you for. Check the friggin' details on what you're reading.
That's right.
Okay. Couple of pet peeves.
Okay.
I know it's Earth Day.
It's Earth Day. It's the 50th anniversary, and it's like flown by. Nobody even. That's why we had to come on for at least a minute and celebrate. Hooray! We're still here. The Earth.
Well,
is still here.
You know how we're celebrating in the United States for Earth Day, right?
What?
We're canceling all immigration, including to people that are legally on green cards.
That's right, exactly.
Is it the green card? Was that the Earth Day connection?
I don't
know.
That was it. You came up with it. That's
like
it.
You have a green card. We're celebrating Earth Day by being green and basically denying you access as a legally immigrating person
and
with a green card.
What good does it do keeping immigrants out? Anybody out at this point?
It's bullshit. Excuse me. I've been using that word a lot.
The horse already ran out of the barn, and we're trying to shut the barn doors here.
What barn? Okay, you looked at the barn recently? The barn has a multicultural, multi-ethnicity, multi-blended, look to it. All right. The white horses are gone. There are no heroes riding white horses.
But it just shows that everybody's taking advantage of this to try and advance their own agendas.
That's exactly what they're doing. And I got into a tizzy. Somebody actually had a problem with me early on when this thing was starting, where I said, people are going to weaponize this thing. They're going to politicize this thing. And somebody said, you know what, that's an irresponsible conversation, and I don't want to be any part of it. And I actually had to apologize because I didn't want to offend that person's sensitivities. And here we are.
Here we are.
I hate to say it, but I told you so.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I want to go back to that point that I was making, which is that we really have to pay attention, right? I mean, Earth Day. Totally get people are basically frustrated. Totally get we're in 30 days. It's not where it's kumbaya and everybody's going to hunker down and we're all going to support each other and everybody's going to do the right thing. Right now, it's like, you know what? The heck with you. I can't keep looking at you all day long. I need to get out of this house. I mean, somebody was actually telling me the other day that the reason why the protests are actually a good thing also is because people interacting with their wives, with their husbands, it's going to lead to divorce because they never signed up to basically be with them for this long duration of time.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, if that's the basis of your marriage and your relationship, you got a bigger problem.
Well,
than
you know, and it's
coronavirus.
sad because on the one hand, I think I'm seeing it, you're seeing it, and certainly there's some anecdotal evidence about it that we are, like in all terms of crisis, pulling together. People are helping each other out. People are trying to be a little
Wait!
kinder.
I thought we didn't have enough test kits for anecdotal evidence.
So, on the one hand,
Antibody evidence.
like every major crisis, that even after 9/11, there was a moment where we came together as a country. It seemed like we were heading in that direction, and then we're just ripping it right back apart. Here we are banning legal immigration into this country.
Which,
for
by the
what?
way, let's just
For
call
what?
it for what it is. Let's just call it for what it is. Okay, it's not about controlling any friggin' entry of coronavirus on the backs of people that are trying to immigrate. Okay, first of all, nobody illegally is trying to immigrate by going to an airport and getting on a plane. Okay, nobody
No.
shows up with
No.
a fake passport and says, "Hi, I'm trying to get in here illegally."
They're
Okay,
not even trying to say it's illegal. They're simply saying what Trump said all along. What the truth is that my crowd of friends and family back
well,
in
you
the
know what?
Midwest,
You know what? Harding did the same thing after World War One. They used this
know that.
whole mess of potential, impact of disease, whatever. Okay, I mean, listen to what we're saying. We're saying that people from other countries are diseased animals that we
Yeah.
should not allow into the country. We should put them in.
Bingo.
We're not even putting them in quarantine.
No,
I
we
mean,
don't.
in the UK, when you bring
Because
in
he
a pet,
said it a while ago.
In the UK, when you bring in a pet, an animal with you,
You put it
okay,
in quarantine.
they quarantine them. They don't deny them entry. They quarantine them. We're just basically saying you're not even worthy animal to quarantine.
We don't want you. We don't want anybody that doesn't look like
So
me.
let's call it for what it is. Right now, the timing on this is nothing other than a distraction, shiny object distraction for the media to chew on. Here's a little bit of red meat for the base. Here's a little red meat for, okay, let's call it what it is. I mean, you are a diehard, dyed-in-the-wool Democrat that would basically flies off the handle all the time.
Anti-Trump.
I'm talking at it from a perspective of a person who legally immigrated, who basically knows that when you did what you did, Mr. President, you basically annoyed a whole bunch of people that are legally in this country, that have legally relatives who are immigrating, that are basically white, that are basically middle age, that are basically European. It was not a smart move. Okay, and it's already backfiring from what I could see within minutes.
My friends in the Midwest love it.
So why do it?
My friends in the Midwest love it. All-time high, 96% approval, never been higher.
Why don't you ask your Dutch friends in the Midwest that have lived here, whether their cousin or aunt or nephew that's immigrating legally, okay, that just got denied access. How do they feel about that?
Want them because Trump said a while ago, didn't get much play. He said we're full. America's full. Nobody else gets to come in.
Well,
period.
Guess what?
Zero.
That like everything else is going to backfire.
I hope so.
All I'm seeing is desperate moves on a chessboard, which nobody is basically engaging in. And there's an article today about the loss of senior support, because all of a sudden it's all about opening up the economy and the hell with the risk factors to anybody who's vulnerable.
Right.
Okay. How are you going to come back from that one? Okay.
How are you going to come back when it goes into the little towns? If it ever does. If it goes into the little towns,
Paul,
and
the
the
only way this is going to be the danger here is not that these moves are being made. The danger here is as it becomes more and more apparent that these moves are not going to secure continuing control. Whether we start moving into a more fascist, dictatorial situation, and if you look at what the Justice Department and Attorney General was trying to do with Facebook this week, I wasn't born and raised here. I came here because this country represented a safe haven for lack of discrimination and prosecution. And what I am seeing happen is that those guidelines that cause people like me to basically seek this country as a safe haven. Okay, because of I wasn't prosecuted overseas, but I was more likely to be prosecuted overseas. I'm seeing that happening here. And if anybody is not concerned about the tone and tenor of this administration's approach to things, forget about whether they basically went and fell asleep at the wheel during this coronavirus situation or not.
Right.
Look at all this other stuff that's being thrown in to the mix. The only thing that you should be doing right now is making sure that people are made comfortable and reassured that it is safe for them to basically get out of their houses. That is the only thing that should be focused on right now. So
Well,
what do we do?
I got to focus on wrapping up the show because we got another one coming here. Well, I just wanted to say hello on Earth Day from deep in the bowels of Mother Earth, and I wanted to point out that we should be coming together and hugging each other. Instead,
you're visually advocating bunker mentality, basically.
yeah.
Right. Let me just touch on one thing. I mean, I'm obviously pissed off about some of this stuff, right? But all that being said, the only thing we should be focusing on is making sure that people feel comfortable and safe enough to basically proceed with some sort of normalcy in their lives. And that is not where we're at. And that is the number one function of leadership as far as I'm concerned right now. One of the things that blew my mind, and it happened to coincide with Earth Day, is that in California, we opened up the beaches.
Right.
The Orange County Board of Supervisors opened up the county beaches. The cities opened up the city beaches. San Clemente opened up the city beaches. To my point about reading the details before you go in and try to open your business and all stuff, find out what it is that you're being required to comply with. Can you even get the disinfectant to maintain a safe environment right now? You're going to go in, you're going to open up your businesses, your furloughed rent is going to come due, your electrical utilities are going to come due. People are not going to walk into your businesses unless they're comfortable psychologically to be out of their houses. And what are you going to do? You're now going to incur costs and not get any money coming in.
But at least we don't have any more dirty immigrants coming in. Thank God.
Well, beaches was one last thing. The beaches.
I gotta go.
Read the stuff about the beaches.
All right.
The beaches themselves have not been opened. Access to the ocean has been open. If you're on the beach, keep moving because you cannot sit your ass on the sand. And with that being said, happy Earth Day.
You have been listening to the Raad Life radio show with your host and age explorer, Raad Gantos, brought to you on the one and only octalkradio.net. Join us again next week as we continue our journey of discovery into life's challenges, opportunities, options, and all the latest and greatest things that come with getting older.